Alright guys, welcome to your reading. Let's see where we're at. I'm just gonna check in, see what comes through at the time that you click on this video. It's timeless, all my readings are timeless, so at any time you can go through the library and just see where you get pulled towards. And then of course on Patreon you have a bigger library. You have access to timeless transmission, so when you become a member there you can just go through the library on there and just see what you get pulled towards, and you always have access to that. At any given time you can use it as such. So I'm pretty much set up. I'm just gonna shuffle this a few more times and we're gonna see what it is you need to know for your highest good at this time. Show me the truth and nothing but the truth. Okay, I'm going to start off with 3 cards again. Okay. Then what I'm seeing is I seem to be reading for someone who I want to say is caught in the middle between 2 choices, and it's coming down to romantic interests, romantic choices, romantic options. Like they're showing up as an Emperor and a King of Cups, so both valid options in their own way. I'm gonna get you more information in a minute. I just want to tune in a bit more. Well, if you've been wondering, if you've been like at a crossroad and you've been wondering, who should I choose, who should I invest in, who is the one, that's just how I heard it. So that seems to be someone is thinking that way, or is like, yeah, like there's the sense of like, I need to make a choice, or that's the feeling you have apparently, like I need to make a choice. I can't double time them, although I don't see why you can't. Maybe you can't, maybe you don't want to do that, but it just feels a bit like sandwiched between 2, and both are, like I said, viable options, like good matches. So if you've been having these questions of like, well, who do I choose, who do I invest in, what they're showing me is that one of them has a more transformative effect on you. So if you were to link with them, it would bring up a lot of shadow work for one, but that in itself will bring about massive transformations. Like there's one person here, one of them is more the one that can, I guess I want to say, trigger you in things that may still be lingering and unresolved, and or aspects of you that you have hidden away and put away and just not really. I'm also hearing they're more likely to bring out like a sexual something, like a sexual part or sexual version. Like it's more like an activation, like they will activate, I don't know how to put this in words, like, yeah, we could call it sexual activations. Like they will activate something that has been dormant, or that other options or other partners haven't been able to bring out of you. It looks like one of them is more likely, the one that I'm tuning in here is more likely to do that, and that as well has this transformative quality. So let's go a bit more into that first before I go to the other one. What I see here is there's one element that is bringing up questions. Like it seems like this specific one isn't moving at the speed that you would like them to. There's like this, they're bringing up your impatience. Like if you have a tendency of being impatient, this one is what's going to bring it up, because there's this sense of like it's not moving at the speed that you want it to, and that in itself is a lesson for you. Like that in itself is already, so basically they're showing me that even if whether you are in a full-blown relationship with this person already or not, doesn't really matter, because they are already triggering the bejesus out of you just by having stepped into your field, having stepped into your life in whatever shape or form that they have so far. So it is already a strong current that I'm feeling here. And again, whether you're actively talking to this person or not, they're already bringing about certain shifts within your life that you may have consciously registered, or you're fully unconscious about it and you don't even know this is happening. But one of the lessons that is unfolding is definitely like this loophole, this blind spot of things not happening at the speed that you want them to, and then you thinking nothing is happening, when actually there's a lot of energetic shifts, like subtle shifts that are already occurring. What else did I need to know? I'm hearing you need like this impatience, or this I guess it is a bit of a weak spot, needs integrating, because whoever you're dealing with here, they have their own head, you know, they have a strong character, so they're not gonna budge just because you want them to, is what I'm hearing. Like that's something that is gonna be this way, you know. I heard forever, so there may be potential of this becoming your forever person, but what you need to know is that your hard-headedness is not gonna trump his hard-headedness, you know, like and that already seems to be a trigger, because there is this sense like, I don't know, you may just have, I'm getting a sense that you may have been spoiled by the universe, or you've been just spoiled point blank of things just happening the way you want them to. And this person apparently is showing up as a bit of a like a wild card, because it with this specific person it's not working, or not the usual. I'm even hearing control, like you seem to be more control in other connections, or feel more in control, and with this person you're not. And I'm getting like question marks. I just got a sense of like question marks, not really knowing what is going on, basically. Tell me more. Well, they are thinking about you, even if they're not showing it. They are thinking of you. They like that you're a bit standoffish. It's just what I heard. They feel like you're someone that may have good banter, like, or even like have a foul mouth. I know this is super specific, don't ask me why it's coming through this way, but they don't see you as someone like that needs coddling, or that needs like hand holding, or like they see you as someone that can hold their own, and they have a feeling that you'd be quick to, like, this is specifically standing out to this person, and is intriguing them, and it's what makes you more attractive to them, is that they feel like you can handle. Again, there's the sexual undercurrent or element that's coming in strongly with this person, that you may have picked up yourself, and you know that this is who's coming through, like this the energy that has been coming up in your own life, so you have like confirmations, but it's linked also to communication, like the way they just feel like you have a foul mouth. Don't ask me, it's just coming through that way. They feel like you have a foul mouth, where you're quick to custom, but not in a, in a somewhat friendly way, like friendly band, like in a way that it's fun, that it's not like low-key abusive, like that actually is fun. I guess like a challenge. They feel like you have this edge to you that makes you feel like a challenge. But they are holding back. I just heard that they are holding back, and that's what's making you feel, I guess, again, these question marks of like, are they even... It just seems like in 3D or in the real life, not much is happening, to the point where you're questioning if this person even is interested or sees you, or... And of course, in some cases they may not, like, because I don't know how many people watch these readings and then they just make it fit, and then it's not even about that. But that's out of my control. You guys are probably veterans by now. You know how to gauge whether reading is for you or not. I'm hoping you do. But yeah, basically don't pull it out of thin air. Like, this is more of as a confirmation, so that what you have been picking up on, is more confirmation that it really is there. And if you haven't picked up on anything and you're hearing this, then, may not be for you. But I'm just gonna keep going, because I do see that there's definitely attraction that is felt from both sides. So again, even if it's just in passing, they do see you as a match. It's really interesting, because this person, again, I'm getting a sense that, I don't even know if you've like had full on conversation yet, or if it's just like, just a few times you've seen this person, but I've had like, there's a strong current here, like this is something you have felt. And sometimes we do get this ping of like, well, this is a match, and you don't even know why you feel that way. Because in this case, there is that, for one, there's this sexual undercurrent, which is really, really strong. There's a sense that you both can match each other on that level. Then there's the wit and like the banter, which is another level that apparently this person feels like you could match them at. Again, this is just a feeling they're picking up on. I don't know if either of you have had any confirmation. You may have had. But there's something standoffish about you, apparently, that they really like, that intrigues them. And then also, though, they can sense that you've been through something painful. Like, they can sense that there's some deep, dark secrets, or that's the vibe that you give off, apparently, to them, that you have, like, you're carrying something around that you don't overtly show, but people can sense it. It's like I'm getting a sort of heaviness, like you carry weight, and that what you carry, like what they sense, is only someone that has been through some stuff, has this energy, has this energetic imprint. And this is a side note for you as well, because this already came through, I think, in 3 readings ago, where we kind of touched upon mimicry. If you resonated with that and you have had, basically there's a side note message coming through that this is exactly what mimics cannot replicate. Because if you've been through shit, you carry whatever it is, like it can be, it's your personal journey, it's your personal business. But some that try replicating you, they cannot replicate that imprint. Like, that's always what's going to be hollow. And some people are twisted as fuck that way, because they want to make your story their story, and they can even try replicate, like they'll try. I'm getting like an office situation, someone has experienced this in an office situation where you may have shared a story with someone and then someone else shared the exact same story, maybe a little bit tweaked. Kind of like, yeah, it's strange how people are that way, but this is a real thing. Like, some will wanna replicate your grief or your burdens even, because ultimately that makes you out as who you are. You know, like, even if you don't wear it on your sleeve, even if you stay quiet about it, people that have been through and have walked through fire, they have a different energetic imprint, and it cannot be replicated. But some people, specifically mimics, will try replicating that in their own way, and it just ends up feeling very hollow. So there's a reason we're talking about this here. It's also very common in, like, I want to say spiritual arenas, because some of these rites, or some of what the traumatic experience that you have experienced, are actually rites of passages. And this is what you see all the time with those that perform and just think it's fucking decoration. They can't really access deep layers because they haven't gone there. So they keep it very surface level and very, like, the surface level, just like you would have small talk with someone. There's no real insight that you're receiving. It's just like a bit scratching a bit at the surface, or they replicate someone else who has walked the fire, and they just use their terms as if they've done the same ordeal, but they didn't. So that's just something to watch out for. But anyways, back to this specific person can feel the truth of you having lived something that you may never even talk about to them, but they can sense it, they can feel it. Okay, and that's what stands out to them as well. So what else do you need to know? Yeah, you've definitely at one point have had this bing, or this like nudge of like, whoa, this is an actual like you have had this similar insight or similar feelings, apparently tuning into this person's field of like, whoa, I think this is someone that could handle me, is what I just heard. They do have a bit of a, I want to say, like, glitz and glam persona, or they have like, they could even be in the spotlight, or they are very they're like naturally bred for that as well. It's just a weird way of putting it, but again, that's what I heard. They're like naturally bred for the spotlight. So that's another confirmation that you know what we're talking about here. But still, what is holding them back is that they feel unworthy, and they're a little bit scared of you, a little bit terrified as well. And also they're still entertaining others. They have other options that they're entertaining. I'm hearing safer options. So this is again one massive test for you to not feel like this is a test for you to not start doubting yourself, or doubting if you do feel like a strong current to this person, but it's not happening at the time that you want it to. This is a test for you to trust and believe in that without seeing actual proof for it, because it seems highly likely that you have once or twice already slipped into the similar current that they are actually in, of like, oh, maybe this person is not for me, or I'm just making shit up, or you know, they don't even see me, they don't even know I exist, when actually both of you have like clocked each other and were like, well, you're a match, that as well, you're a match. So some of you have already got some insight into timelines, but they're potential timelines, okay? When you do get insight, it doesn't always mean that it's gonna end up exactly that way. There's a potential has been shown to you. So that's something though that you can keep recalling, is what I'm hearing, and just see how reality, like how reality aligns with that timeline. If it does, even if something changes again down the line, we're gonna get into the other currents, because like I said, there are two viable options that are showing up in your spread. So we're gonna see, I'm gonna keep this as one, and we're gonna go into the next one, and if I need to interlink them again, I will do that for you. But yeah, let's get into this King of Cups now, because this is the other person. Let me see what I can pick up on here. It is very interesting, because here there's definitely something around the spotlights. Like you may actually become a public facing couple, or are meant to be, or that's like a timeline that you have tuned and tapped into, whereas the other one is feels more ground, like more grounding. This one is more present already in your life. The other one seems more passing by. The King of Cups is more present, and you can already sense and feel how they have stirred some feelings within you, and you've stirred some feelings within them. I'm hearing deeper feelings, less of like having to go into deep shadow like layers, more though they are bringing up a different part of you, and it's certain fears and limitations that you have around receiving love. Can you tell me more about the King of Swords? There's more gossip with this King of Cups. There's more gossip, there's more talk, there's more like a current of, there's apparently people around this person that actually are kind of egging them on, and they want to see you choose them, or they want them to choose you, as if like there's talk about you being a good match for each other. But at the same time, the both of you have experienced loss, and that is part of like the fears and the limitations that is keeping the two of you from fully admitting your feelings for each other, or admitting how strong the current already is. So there's two strong currents that you're apparently experiencing. One is with this Emperor that we already touched upon, and now there's another one, King of Cups, and this one is more present in your life. So again, you're being sandwiched. I mean, you're getting a lot of attention, and you're getting a lot of love, or especially this King of Cups is definitely showing you like their appreciation and their love the way that they can. It just for you does seem to feel like you're already juggling two, or you are juggling two currents, but there's apparently you're feeling a mixture. There's this sense of like juggling two, or having to juggle a lot, having lots on your plate, but then also like being somewhat closed off to what is being offered to you. And this could be specifically when it comes to this King of Cups, because that one is more present. So when they do show appreciation, or they do show in their way that they like you, you kind of shut down, which can be a trauma response. And like I heard a sense of just not feeling worthy. Like there seems to be part of you that doesn't feel worthy of being loved or being seen. I'm getting a sense that you shut down in those moments. But this person too has a spot, like not overtly glitz and glam, but they have a very strong provider energy. Like they actually, and provider energy doesn't only have to be in like paying for shit. They also could be showing up and just being very present and being very supportive, or just being like an anchor. But it could later on manifest, like if you would go down this route, it could manifest in this person to become like having very stable income, where they can look out for a whole family, if we're not already now. But yeah, you both have experienced pain, and that is another thing that is like the both of you are attracted to each other because of that reason. Not in a way of trauma bonding, that's not at all coming up. It's not like bonding over the trauma, it's more like you both have survived something that again, it's this imprint, this energetic imprint that I was talking about, that some try mimicking and try replicating, and they never can because they need to walk the same fires, which is not in the life plan, it's not in the blueprint. And probably you'd be like, I don't even want, I don't even wish that on anyone. But some are just weird like that, especially when they want to fucking wear you like a bodysuit. So it's not at all coming through as like trauma bonding. It's more that, yeah, what I touched upon, they can sense an imprint. They can sense that you've walked through rites that have cost you a lot, or even could have made another person lose their mind. And there's this like mutual resilience that seems to be very you find it attractive within this person, they find it attractive within you, and it's a reason why you are drawn to each other. Yeah, there's a very celebratory energy around you. There's really a sense of like, I'm getting community, but also like there's people here that want to see you together, or just feel like it's like that's what's the interesting part here is maybe you feel less of like, oh, this is a match. You may feel more like, oh, this is kin, this is someone who sees like, yeah, a deeper current within me just as I do within them. But the you're a good match is actually coming from an outside, from an external force or current that is seeing the two of you, or has seen you together, and there's this sense of like, yeah, this just makes sense, the two of you just make sense. So that's the two. I'm gonna put this away, and I'm gonna try figure out how the hell you feel about being sandwiched between these two viable options, because that juggling sensation of like, or even overwhelm, because it's like I'm getting a sense of already being so much in your head about these two currents, or just not really understanding why the fuck is like two at the same time that you feel such a strong current to, and both though are different in their own ways, what I'm sensing. So let me see what it is you may need to know, or will help you navigate this. Show me the truth. Yeah, there's definitely confusion. You're not fully tuned into your psychic channel when it comes to these two. Like there is some, and that's due to the limitations. There's like certain things you may pick up on that just feel a little bit uncomfortable for you to have to deal with head on, and then there's a sense of you just putting it away, or not confronting it head on. And this could be really about how you are feeling about two different people at the same time. Like that's what seems to be adding to the confusion, because I keep getting, the cards keep showing me that you on some, like there's on some levels some, it's not full on suppression, it's more like feeling something and then being like, whoa, this is actually, I'm just not sure about this, about like, and then you cut yourself off from that. It's like you cut. So that's why I meant it feels less like suppression. I mean, it feels more like cutting yourself off from the current that you are a part of, whether you want it or not. Because it's not only you that is feeling it, it's both of them are feeling something as well when they cross paths with you, or when you're in your vicinity. So it's not a one-man show here. Like you actually are part of two currents where they are also feeling things. I even heard projecting their own fears onto their current. So you're not only navigating your own stuff, you're navigating what you're picking up from them. And that seems to be an explanation why it can feel overwhelming at times, especially if it's coming from two separate sources. So that's where you apparently are cutting yourself off a bit, where you just, I am hearing it's like a form of protection, because the thing is, what seems to be somewhat surprising for you is that both are viable options, like both have like a tender and caring nature when it comes to you. We're not talking about fuckboys here, we're not talking about like anyone that has bad intentions. Like they're generally coming up as like caring and warming, benevolent beings, and that seems to be what's catching you off guard, because you're probably used to a whole lot of stuff. And I am getting like this cutting off feeling is a bit like of knowing what has happened, or being like a reminder of what has happened in the past when you did feel something strong. So that is a bit of the blind spot, and what is like is like blocking you from fully, well, that's the blockage. I'm seeing the blockages you fully receiving is because you yourself are cutting it off, because you just apparently feel overwhelmed. So the solution is pretty easy here, because it just basically, they're showing me that it just needs a bit of a tweak in your self-concept of you affirming and reaffirming that you do deserve to be loved. Like you deserve to be cared for, you deserve to be catered for, you deserve to have someone check for you, you know, even if you haven't had that or hadn't had that in a really long time, or there is there is trauma here, whether it's been addressed or not. Probably has been, but with complex trauma you will find that there's layers and layers and layers to it. So even if you have done a lot of work already, relationships specifically can bring up more layers or more like side effects of whatever you've had experienced, like that is still lingering. And that in itself can be a blessing if you can see it as such, because I am hearing like the more you can lean into these currents, whether you're ready for it or not, the more they can also, it's not about like unloading on another person, it's more that, for example, with this King of Cups that has been through their own fair share of darkness, whatever you want to call it, they are more likely to be able to hold space for you, or that's how they're showing up. So it's the same with when you work with therapists, or like you'll see, or you find that those that can hold the most non-judgmental space are those that have been through their own fair share, you know. So you will feel that though, it doesn't even have to, you will feel that, because you will feel the resonance, and you will feel the pull to someone. But there was that sideline message of just being aware that some do put it on as show, or like you will find that they can't really meet you where you're at, they can't really meet you at the depth of where you're at, and that's something to, especially if you are on a healing journey or you are working through stuff, that's something to take seriously, because if you can sense that, you could waste a whole lot of money and years of trying to get something sorted out with someone who just cannot meet you there. And this is a channel message in itself, because it's not only as in like therapist client, it's also on and romantic or relation, even friendships. You know, some of you that I'm reading for here, you apparently feel the safest and the most seen by other people that carry their own. And that's why this is really important though, the distinction that I haven't gotten an inch of trauma dumping here. It's not even about like staying a victim mentality, because I got a sense that nobody is talking about talking about it is an energetic imprint that is felt. So that's the distinction. It's not like, I also got a sense that from both parties, you may talk about it one day, but it doesn't feel necessary, and that is more of an indication that you have worked through a big chunk of it. But the fact that there's this disconnect or like cutting off, especially when the current is actually good for you, is showing me, like I said, a bit of there's a layer of trauma or multiple layers of trauma that may be looking for attention. And of course, you always have the option to work with me. I specialize in this, like different topics on abuse, addictions, like, yeah, hard stuff to have to look at, but that can be very, very rewarding when you do so. And I'm just putting it out there because I have all told you already, this is a funnel. So when people come on here that have been seeking someone out like me, know that I'm here to do the work with you. You can check out my offerings on my website, and you're more than welcome to become a Patreon member, which more of you have been flocking over there, which is always, it's such a nice feeling, and really just nice to have the right people on there. It feels really good, and it feels really like the payoff for the work that I do offer, being valued in that way. I really appreciate that. And maybe we do a few more. I think I'm gonna just pull 2-3 more cards and see if there's anything else before I close this out that you may need to know. Okay, now I just got confirmation. I got confirmation of what like that I am on the right track about this deep, like, what is coming through as grief. It's coming through as like real, like, grief is one of the most complex emotions or things that a person can move through, because as you may know as well, it comes in waves and it comes in layers. But it just looks very much like only someone, in this case only someone that has had a similar experience, can really meet you there and be, again, it's not coming down to you dumping on another. It's more the space that they can hold for you while you're moving through this. And that again is why I got it as like in a romantic, can even be friendship, but also in like when you choose to work with someone. I feel like someone needs to hear that, because just because someone has like a professional title and has like freaking PhD or whatever hanging up, doesn't mean they can truly carry and hold that frequency. And that is why I was saying that you can waste a lot of time and a lot of money, even if you disconnect in those moments where you are seeking help, but you can already feel like the discrepancy. You can already feel that you may be talking about the same ass thing over and over again. They're asking questions that doesn't really, and it doesn't help you, or you just feel misunderstood. So I'm hearing sometimes this is more specific to relationships. It can be worth holding off getting into connections where it stays on a level, like surface level, or it's just like you will feel what you need from a relationship for it to feel like worth investing in. There is maybe a layer of brainwash, especially what came through with like the titles and, oh, this person has studied this for 8 years, they are a specialist, but especially with deep layers, there are different ways of accessing it. And I've just noticed from my own work, and also having like a medical background, that some things just don't get treated properly. Not in a way that it hits the root problem. So yeah, if that's worth investing or not, that's up to you. But it's more, I must be talking to someone who has tried a more conventional way and is hitting like either breaking points or just like this sense of like, what have I been doing all this time, like where it didn't really get me to where I thought I would be. So yeah, I can only encourage you to check out my services, because I have noticed with clients that do come from conventional therapy and already have done a lot of work, it amplifies that. It's not lost, it just, you have already brought so much up to the surface that alone one clearing session or one private, like one session can work wonders. And I don't say that lightly, it's just that I do know I have seen what shifts in a very short time. So I guess to close out this reading, there is an element of like an awakening that is occurring, but the awakening is more to you opening up and receiving the love that you do have surrounding yourself, right? Like that you do have surrounding you right now. Because the current is flowing, it's just the disconnection, and that's why I did start talking about the sessions. Because some things need professional help, you know. It's like when your tooth is chopped, you're not gonna try fixing that yourself. You go to the dentist. The same as with spiritual work. Like you're gonna want that's professional, someone who has gone through the rites, ideally has it inherited, you know, is bloodline forged, someone legit. Like you're gonna want that's what some people are still not understanding, or I'm sensing with like, why should I pay for this? Because you want, if you want professional help, you're gonna pay for it. Like it's still, you know, it's still a 3D world that we all have our like feet planted in. So yeah, you have all the details down below. But yeah, it would be beautiful if you can open yourself up. If you can open yourself up, because you're gonna, it's already there. It feels like you're in and out. There's just these layers that were coming up, that like that's where we ended. That you know, it could help to address them in a way that you will then see. You will see what it feels like with the channel being open. But of course, sometimes it also has to happen gradually. But yeah, there's some deep pain here still lodged. Some deep pain, some deep grief. That can contribute to it, of course, feeling scary, like when you can feel, okay, this person could mean a lot to me down the line, and there being, whether it's a fear of loss or just like there's a sense of not even being consciously aware of that. Maybe a reason that you do disconnect from the current, or you do cut yourself out from the current, is actually because there's underlying a sense of like, oh, if I do open up to this and it gets taken away from me again, like that's just gonna hurt. So yeah, like I said, you have all the information below. More than happy to have you over on Patreon as well. It's been a blast over there, although I had a bit of a dip. I was working through some of my own stuff, but I received a lot of love from you guys on there, and I really did feel that. So I'm in a total different mood again, and yeah, the next readings are going to be on Patreon in the upcoming days. So maybe see some of you over there. Bye.